I used to work the whole day when I was pregnant. I wouldn't take much rest. I remember being thirsty all the time and out of breath.
Man, saved my life.
Acabamos de llegar al lugar donde va a comenzar la búsqueda del migrante desaparecido.
So from where we're at right now, we can see from left to right and right to left, a heavily wooded area denotes the border between North and South Korea. There are no fences, there are no barriers, and there are no walls that separate North and South.
زنایی که فقط باید سکوت کنن، هیچ کس نباید صدایشان رو بشنوه، صدای گپشان رو بشنوه. ما تصمیم گرفتیم که در اونجا باید صدامون رو به شکل آهنگ بیرون کنیم.
Just because we've got a disability doesn't mean that we are children. We are adults with hopes and dreams. Without sports, none of us would be here.
Inspiring short films from the BBC. Watch now on iPlayer.
Live from London, this is BBC News. Figures reveal the UK has emerged from recession. The Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, says he's positive.
I am confident that today's figures show that we now have momentum. The economy has real momentum. It's hard to argue with that when the figures show that we have the joint highest growth rate in the G7. That is positive.
Fierce fighting in Ukraine's Kharkiv region as Russia launches a surprise attack. PC Sharon Beshanivsky, shot dead 2 decades ago, the mastermind behind the armed robbery, is finally sentenced for her murder. Israel's Prime Minister vows to press ahead with the offensive in Rafah in defiance of US calls for restraint. Harry accompanies his wife Meghan at the start of an informal tour of Nigeria.
I'm Marianne Mashiri, live at the Eurovision Song Contest in Malmo, where the controversy continues to build up as the Dutch entry Joost Klein is told he's barred from rehearsing at the very last minute. We'll have that and all the very latest live from Malmo.
Hello and welcome to today's Verified Live. Confirmation today that the UK economy is no longer in recession. The economy grew by 0.6% between January and March, the fastest rate for 2 years, according to official figures. The Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, sat down exclusively with our economics correspondent, Faisal Islam, and said the economy was finally gaining momentum.
Look, it is going to take time for people to really feel better, but I am confident that today's figures show that we now have momentum. The economy has real momentum. It's hard to argue with that when the figures show that we have the joint highest growth rate in the G7. That is positive. So yeah, there's more work to do, but wages are rising. And I think actually, look, you and I focus on GDP to one extent, but actually what people at home will be watching saying, what does this mean for me? Actually, they'll think, you know, is my job secure? Are my wages rising? They have been rising faster than prices for about 9 months now. You know, my taxes being cut, they're being cut by now £900, because that's going to give people fundamentally just more money at home at the end of every month, and that's the kind of security that I want to deliver.
So I get why you want to focus on the turning point, the fact that taxes are being cut right now from where they were, that growth is going up, but if you take a longer time horizon, if you take like 2 years, growth, it's only been 0.4% growth since you were Prime Minister over 5 quarters. Taxes are higher than when they were when you started as Prime Minister. That is what people are noticing.
Well, I'm not sure that's quite right, because look, when I became Prime Minister, the economy was forecast to shrink last year by quite a significant amount.
Yeah. Right? It did shrink in the end.
Well, no, it didn't actually. No, it grew. It grew
the last half of the year.
Okay, it grew over the course of last year, right? Just to be clear, those are the facts, right? It was predicted to shrink a lot. That didn't happen. Actually, we defied the sceptics, and the economy grew. And you talk about taxes. Actually, if you look at since the beginning of this Parliament, 2019, someone on an average salary of 35k, actually, if you look at all the changes that have been made, is actually paying about £550 less tax than they would have done otherwise. But I get that there's more work to do. So if you're asking me, is there more work to do? Of course there's more work to do. I get that, and that's why I'm keen to stick to our plan and keep delivering for people.
Well, that was Rishi Sunak talking to our economics editor Faisal Islam. Head